All right, here are your tricks on least common multiple. So this is a front and a back, so make sure you complete everything. And I'm actually going to start with finding the least common multiple in number 1. So in number 1, I have 5, 8, and 10. I like the list method. If this isn't a method that you like using, that's quite all right. Use your method. So I like to list multiples. I usually say my rule is list the first 5, but if you need to continue and move on past that, that's fine. So remember, multiples are just like we're multiplying or skip counting. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then I have 8, 16, 24. This also helps us with our counting or multiplying in our head, mental math. 32 and 40. And then I have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So if I look over the first 5 multiples that I can see really quickly that with 10 and 8, I have a 40 in both of those, but in number 5, or the number 5, I don't have 40, but I do know that I could keep counting, and I would eventually get to 40. So then the least common multiple means I want to pick the lowest number they all 3 have in common. So I want to go back and I want to make sure, is that correct? And it is. So I'm going to write on my blank the LCM, short for least common multiple, is 40. Moving on to number 2, at a local gift shop, Shirley wrapped 6 presents at a time. So I think that might be important. Steve wrapped 4 at a time. If they ended up wrapping the same number of presents by the end of the day, what is the smallest number of presents that each must have wrapped? Smallest number tells us that we're looking at multiples and finding the one that's the smallest. So I'm working with the number 6 and the number 4. So I'm going to skip count 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. And then I'm going to do 4s, 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. And again, I like to go up to the first 5, but you might need to go further. And then I immediately notice that they have the number 12 in common. And just to keep going, if you would have kept going with your number 4, you would have gotten 24. And you can see really quickly that they do have 24s in common, but these aren't the least, the smallest number they have in common. So that's why 12 presents would be the answer to this problem. All right, that is it for this one.